Hi there and welcome to The Wrap, a quick look at the week that was. I'm Diana Dorahy. Well, congratulations to Jill from Collagen Lab, who's won the Founder Institute by Next Chapter Raise Fellowship. The Founder Institute is the world's largest pre-seed startup accelerator, and they've helped more than 4,300 entrepreneurs get the focus and support they need to build businesses that matter. We can't wait to follow Jill on her journey. Congratulations once again. We're also thrilled to welcome Courtney Haley, our entrepreneur in residence this month, for a live implementation hour with our members. She's an expert in end-to-end manufacturing, package design, product development and innovation, and she had all these money-saving tips about manufacturing cosmetics, particularly when it comes to getting samples made, getting artwork completed and ticking all the legal and regulatory boxes. It was really insightful. Thank you, Courtney. In funding news this week, and boy, was there a lot of capital being dished out, can't even get through them all. Burbix, an ID verification startup that was founded by former members or founder members as well of the Airbnb Trust and Safety team, have announced a $9 million Series A round. And it may be not that surprising on the back of COVID and the increased need to validate identification. Chinese electric vehicle startup Xpeng Inc. has raised an eye-watering $1.5 billion through a much-anticipated initial public offering in the United States. So much for geopolitical tensions between the US and China. These guys are certainly ones to watch. And Verta, a model management and operations platform for machine learning, has just raised a $10 million Series A round. And it was founded by Mansay Vartak, and she came up with the idea while still a student at MIT in the US. And what she did is she found this gap between data scientists and developers when it came to deploying machine learning. And Verta is a platform that aims to bridge this gap. And one thing that she also wanted to do is have a 50-50 gender split. And that was something that she was able to achieve while at MIT and her various projects there, and she certainly wants to carry on with that at Verta. And as part of that mission, if you like, she's working with Sweat Equity Ventures in the US to really help recruit diverse candidates. Good on her. My story of the week this week, it goes to a really raw and inspiring piece by Tracy Young about her time as a female founder. And she was one of the founders of PlanGrid, which is this construction productivity software. And the company was acquired by Autodesk in 2018 for a cool $875 million. And in this piece, she just lays everything out on the table. The pressure to return to the work after having a baby, internal challenges like losing really good talent at a really bad time, breastfeeding, walking away from disappointing M&A offers, pitching at countless VC meetings, and did I mention breastfeeding? But she also dug deeply into the emotion that comes from growing a company. She says openly that her entire self-worth was tied to it. And after the acquisition, she agreed to stay on for 18 months, but she didn't last that long. And she says, everything that made me a good founder made me a terrible employee at a public company. This was a really transparent story with lots of important tips, both professional and emotional. Well worth a read. My tip of the week this week comes from our inaugural Raise role model, Faye Yao from New Campus, and she joined us for a fireside chat about pivoting between an online and an offline business. And she covered everything from managing a remote workforce to considerations about infrastructure changes. As for customers, she had this advice. She says, some customers may choose not to follow you when you pivot to an online service. there will be a natural attrition rate, but this gives you an opportunity to develop detailed profiling and maybe refine your offerings to appeal to these new customers. Consider how to market to these new users. You know, your traditional paid advertising models may not work as well as they previously did, so consider tailoring your service and your message. But it also may give you an opportunity to redesign the service to gain exposure outside of your traditional location, particularly if you're an offline business whose core customer base is located in that geographical location, and now here's an opportunity to diversify, widen that user base when you go online. And she says, leveraging partnerships is also a great way of reaching new customers. You know, it's important for several reasons, not least of which is that mutually beneficial partnerships are often free to promote. Great tip. Coming up next week on Next Chapter Raise, we have the French Tech panel on tackling gender bias in the corporate and investment world, and that's coming up next Thursday, September 3rd. Can you believe it's September already? Our founder, Nicole, is one of the panelists at this prestigious event and joins speakers from 500 Startups and Schneider Electrics. I'm going to put the link in our newsroom. Register now. It's free. Until then, have a great weekend and see you next time on The Wrap.